Now I can gauge off the widths of my sides and resaw. Resawing with my Japanese Ryoba will produce the thinnest kerf that will make our book match better. To resaw with the Ryoba, mark your line around the work, and then I cut on the end grain first. Just to establish my cut line, and then I gradually angle down to about 45 degrees to cut straight down the resaw line. Once the whole width of the blade is in the work, I'm quite happy sawing horizontally. And as we approach the very end of the cut, we can flip the piece over and finish from the other end. Clean up the saw marks. Now we can gauge for the height of the box and rip the sides to width. Shoot the sides to final width. Shoot the ends square. Decide on the proportions and mark the work accordingly. Then we can play out the slots for the bottom. Through slots on the ends and stop slots on the sides. When I lay out for the pins, I need to make sure the groove in the sides is not going to come through the front. Spot the groove, transfer that through to the front, and then cut my pin angled that way. And I can flip round the piece and do the same at the other end. Now I can take my dovetail marker and mark those angle cuts. I set my marking gauge to the thickness of the sides of the box. And I can mark round for the depth of the pins. Just cut down to the gauge line. We can either chop the whole of this waste out, or we can use a coping saw or a jeweler's saw just to take most of it out. Being careful not to cut too far. I've actually stayed quite a long way away from the line here, so there's a fair bit of chopping still left to do. With the pin board clamped firmly to the bench, we can start to chop away the waste. Firstly, I'll just drop the chisel into the marking gauge line, give a little tap and extend up to the edges of the pins. And then I want to remove a little V shape, just paring away against the end grain. That gives us a solid foundation to rest the chisel back against and cut a bit deeper. By just taking a little at a time, the bevel doesn't force the chisel back deeper into the pin board. And then we chop down roughly to half depth. And then we can flip it over. Pretty soon we've cut through this half and we've joined together with the cut from the other side. Then it's back to the vise just to clean up. Back in the vise, just use our chisel to pare any last remaining bits in the joint. So that's our pins completed. To mark for the tail, we put the joint together against a couple of abutments with the pins sitting on top of the side, and then we mark through with a scalpel against the edge of the pins. Nice clear line. I think you can make out the knife marks on there. They're very clear for me to see, and as long as we solder those, the joint should go together perfectly. And once again we mark the depth of the joint with the marking gauge. We can square across from the end of the knife lines. Then we cut the tail, splitting the knife line as we do so. and we can cut off the shoulders. A little bit of clean-up. And the joint's complete. And as you can see, this isn't actually part of the box. I left the camcorder on pause when I did all the joinery for the dovetails. I prepare a drop-in lid with rebate planes and shoulder planes. With the drop-in section of the lid completed, I shot some 45s on the edge of the overlap top to make lifting the lid off easier. Now I'm laying out for a pyramid detail on the top of the lid. I've backed up the end of this side so that I don't tear out the edge of the board. That allows me to take full shavings across the end of the box. Look after yourselves and don't forget to subscribe to see videos every day during the COVID-19 problems.